Why, hello, Jameson. Fancy meeting you here. What's up, Dollface?
Why, hello, Jameson.
Oh, God, I'm echoing. God help me. I don't want to hear my own voice. Dear God, we can't have that. Well, hello. Well, I'm just going to wait for the other ladies to get here. Do I have no face on screen? Very strange. Because I can see my picture. What a day, huh, Jameson? What a day. No face. Oh, I'm naked. Naked? How can it be? It's all right. I don't mind being naked. No shame in my game. Those who know me know my voice. So I thought we would talk about a couple of cases that I've been following for a long time. And they're nothing big or, in the news or anything like that, but they're important to me. Hi, Michelle K. Thanks for coming by. I'm going to talk about a couple of cases tonight that are not really that well known, or that are known but no one talks about. I have this thing for finding women that are like in their 30s, 20s, 30s that go missing. And I can't let it go. I'm telling you. So Kate is going to join us, and she's going to do some screen share for me, which is awesome. So you guys can see the people that I'm talking about. I agree, Michelle. I agree. I'm just waiting for a few more people to come in before I start talking. So, what's up, Thumb Thug? Hey, Megan. Oh, here, coming on now. Don't threaten me, sister friend. Hey, Lynn Diaz. Thanks for being here. We're going to talk about a couple of cases that I hold near and dear to my heart. So, have you guys ever heard of Karina Slusar? Tell me that, yes or no? One or two? One or two? Karina Slusar. Absolutely beautiful girl. I've been following her case. Oh, you have? Good. I've been following her case since 2017. And that's right, she is. Yes, ma'am. 2017. Oh,
Hey.
hello.
Yeah, she's local to me. Well, kind of.
I'm
She's
so
like,
glad you know about that case.
yeah.
Hi,
She was
Pointer
definitely
Lover.
trafficked. Hey, Pointer Lover. Yeah,
Yeah,
she was
I'm
definitely
sure she
trafficked.
was. Yeah, I'm sure she was too. But she had her whole life ahead of her. It's just so sad,
Yeah, she was really pretty.
when you're young and you just have like the itch to go do something that you know you shouldn't be doing, and you go do it anyway, and then most people can get themselves out of it before it's too late. But Karina is one of those cases where she didn't. She got caught up, and she has not been home in a few years now. And she's beautiful. Kate, I don't know if you want to put her picture up while I'm talking. I'm sure you know how to find her because she's
Yeah,
pretty easy when you put her name in. So I hear someone yelling for mama. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of history on her. So this is a mystery of a small town former cheerleader who fell victim to New York City sex ring. And she's stunning and beautiful. Kate's going to share her picture for me so you guys can see who I'm talking about. She's so pretty. And even if she wasn't pretty, she didn't deserve the life that I believe she's probably somewhere in a trap house. That's my guess. Or she's possibly in another country.
or something bad happened to her too, because there was some like weird stuff
I
going
know.
on.
I'm really hoping.
I gotta get my kid a Capri Sun. Give me 1 second.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm really, really hoping that with this case that she's out there somewhere. Maybe she's hooked on some really bad stuff and, isn't ready to come home yet, but it's been a few years. So, anyways, the backstory. When an older man promised 18-year-old Corinna Slusser a new life in the Big Apple, the former cheerleader left her small town on the banks of the Susquehanna River and told her mom back home not to worry. But after the teen's arrival in New York City, she was swiftly involved in a Bronx sex trafficking ring. Her images were splashed across the web in advertisements for paid sex, and her body was sold in seedy hotel rooms by a notorious pimp accused of beating up his workers and stealing their money. Still,
you can share the screen so they can see the picture.
Right. How come I don't see it? Oh, there we go. I see it.
Okay.
Isn't she beautiful? I just think she's so pretty. She deserves so much better. Sorry, kids. I'm continuing on. I really am.
Oh, that's the guy. He's in jail now, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he is. He is in jail now. Loser. Less than 2 months after the teen arrived in Gotham in 2017, she vanished without a trace from a Queens motel where rooms are rented by the hour. We all know what that means. And Slusser's stricken mom, Sabina, says she is still no closer to tracking down her child. My biggest fear is that I'll never get closure, that I'll never know what happened to her, she said in a tearful recent interview. The mom got to confront her daughter's sex trafficker in an emotional courtroom showdown at one point, but was still left without answers. I just need to know, is she dead or alive? Who is the last person that you handed her off to? Her mother wept in court during a heart-wrenching victim impact statement at trafficking of Aisha Wooney's 2019 sentencing. Please, Aisha, tell me where my child is. Then the 24-year-old convict unexpectedly blurted out, honestly, I don't know. Mooney is now behind bars, as is one of Slusser's alleged other pimps, who was sentenced last month to 2 years in prison for promoting prostitution and drugs. Mooney got 15 years, by the way. But neither man has been charged in connection with her disappearance, and her mom is terrified that her daughter's case is a mystery that will never be solved. I still shouldn't give up. Everyone tells me there's a possibility that she's out there. That's what I live off of. I just pray to God, and I just keep trying to have faith. In the months preceding Slusser's move to New York, her life in Bloomsboro, Pennsylvania, had taken a dark turn, according to her friends in her original missing person report. The former high school cheerleader had a fraught relationship with her mother, and when her plans to move in with her aunt, by the way, which was in Massachusetts, during the winter of her senior year fell apart, she began living with a friend, and then she soon dropped out of school. She was seen getting in trouble. She got fines, underage drinking. Honestly, I noticed that everything was just changing with her. Her mother said she was kind of out of control. I didn't know how to handle her by myself. Then she packed all her clothes, and that was it. I never saw.
You okay? You
mute sorry if I'm breaking up. Oh, can you hear me? All right, there we go. Even as Slusser posted sparkling photos of herself on a social media account. Behind her perfectly made-up face was a fractured interior wrecked by the pain of coming of age in a town that felt too small. In 2017, while still in Bloomsburg, she attempted to self-harm by swallowing 50 extra-strength Tylenol tablets, her loved one said. By summer, she was drinking and using drugs frequently, had been fired from her job, and was getting cash from sugar daddies she met on the website Seeking Arrangement, according to her friends and the police. She was ripe to be exploited. So when an older man living the fast life in New York offered her a place to stay in the Big Apple, she accepted, telling her mom she would be fine. It is very common that teenagers will become ensnared with someone who promised them the sun and the moon and the stars, and the teenager might be looking for love, and also may feel that the parents and other responsible adults in the teen's life just don't understand her. said Laurie. She's the CEO of the child sex trafficking group, ECPAT. Traffickers are very skilled at sniffing that stuff out. It's unclear whom Slusser followed to New York, but she quickly linked up with a Manhattan pimp, Giovanni Piguero. He was then 32, who allegedly started selling her to SEX buyers. Then on August 25th, 2017, the pimp and Slusser had a falling out when Piguero allegedly stole $300 from her purse and slammed her up against a wall and choked her when she confronted him about her missing money. Piguero had gotten out of prison 4 months earlier for attempted drug dealing and already done 2 previous stints upstate for attempted burglary and promoting prostitution. Karina was granted a temporary restraining order against Piguero, but he appeared to continue to groom her from afar and coerce her into coming back to work for him, according to records and Facebook messages from the teen's account that were reviewed by the New York Post. I just need you to promise me that when you make that bread, you are going to give me every dollar, and you are going to let me give you what you need to buy your clothes, and you are going to let me deal with the rest, the pimp wrote about 10 days after he allegedly roughed her up. Once we come to that agreement, watch how I'm going to treat you, Piguero said. I know everything about you. That next guy probably didn't even bother asking, like your favorite color, food, or even your birthday. It F's with you. We just went through a very bad experience. Honestly, sweetheart, if you would have just stuck to the plan that I had for us, we would have never had that happen. But by then, Karina had already fallen in with a new pimp, convicted sex trafficker Aisha Wooney, who was an up-and-coming rapper in New York, by the way. On September 4th, 2017, Karina booked a room at a Bronx hotel known for its substantial SEX activity, and Mooney met her there at some point. Between September 10th and September 20th, the trafficker also exchanged more than 800 text messages with the teen and posted prostitution ads with her photos. He even had his girlfriend in on this deal, his girlfriend who has a baby, by the way. And he actually had a 2-for-1 special, and they were both just teenagers. On or about September 20th, the last day Karina was seen, she had a falling out with Wooney when one of his sex trafficking victims grew jealous of their relationship, which was his girlfriend. The trafficker left Karina at a different site, the Haven Motel in Queens, which is a terrible area, in a room paid for by another man, and claimed he didn't know what happened to her next. Wooney ended up being sentenced to 15 years, like I said, on sex trafficking raps related to Karina in Manhattan's federal court 2 years later in November 2019. He's currently serving his sentence at a federal prison. Karina's mom attended Wooney's sentencing, where she delivered her emotional victim impact statement, demanding answers from him, and he would only respond, I never passed her off to anybody. Is she dead or alive? I'm honestly not sure, but I pray she's alive. On the night Karina was last seen, she was scared and alone and sought out a familiar face for help, Piguero, which was the other pimp. Slusser texted him around 7 p.m. and told him that Wooney had left her in Queens with no money and no food, and she needed his help, according to her messages. I'm just scared to come to you because of everything, she wrote to Piguero on an apparent reference to his alleged assault against her. Piguero indicated that he would pick her up, but only if she was willing to get right back to work. Slusser fired back, if you miss me, you wouldn't say first thing is she's gonna work for me. You'd worry about my well-being and get me without stipulation. You care about money, not me. But after a few hours passed, Karina appeared more desperate for his help, and the two made plans to meet up, although it's not clear if they ever got together. After that night, the teen was never heard from again. The assault charges that Piguero had faced for allegedly choking her were dismissed because the teen failed to show up for court. Piguero was later arrested for promoting prostitution in 2018, a cocaine possession in 2021, and on October 25th, sentenced to 2 years behind bars for those offenses. The Post went to Rikers Island after Piguero's sentencing to interview him about what happened to Slusser. He was adamant that he was not the last person with her. Look at the internet. I wasn't the last one who was with her, he said cryptically during the jailhouse sit down. I don't know anything about that, about her disappearance. A police source told the Post that Peguero was questioned over Karina's disappearance and looked at hard in terms of possibly knowing something about it. But the investigation's never been labeled a homicide case. It's still considered just a missing person probe. This is since 2017. At some point, she's looking for a ride, he says. She didn't seem willing to comply, and then at some point, she falls off the radar. That's all I know. Slusser had been keeping in regular contact with her mom while in New York, and the day she went missing, she told her mom she was ready to come home. And then when the team failed to follow up with her mom later that week, her phone went straight to voicemail. In the year since Karina's disappearance, a Facebook page has been set up in her name, and while the odd tips here and there have been sent to Karina's mom and to the cops, no real leads have materialized. I feel hopeless, her mom said. I waited as long as I could for Karina, and she wasn't returning, and it's depressing. Sometimes I don't even want to, I don't even want to be here anymore. Cohen said that there is a chance the missing woman could still be under a trafficker's thumb. I've worked a number of cases. While they were trafficked, their trafficker had absolute control over their ability to communicate. There could be a threat like, you contact your mother and I'll kill her. The expert also noted that there's danger in commercial sex trade and the high rates of violence that face victims, not just from their pimps, but from the buyers too. Prostitution is lethal. It's more dangerous than being a coal miner. It's more dangerous than being a firefighter. I would love anything more to be completely wrong about this theory. Sorry. I think if you were to look at statistics, you'd have to look at being engaged in armed combat to compare the risks of being in the commercial sex trade, which is horrible. That's just horrible. She's so pretty. She went from being a cheerleader to being a complete drug addict. And Kate, if you can zoom in on that picture at all, if you guys look at the picture of her sitting with that guy, she's obviously really drawn out and her face is much thinner. But if you look at her chest, you can see the bruising from someone pounding on her chest. That's healing of bruising. And then if you look in her arm, you can see the marks from where she was shooting up. Those are fresh
you can see
marks
the
right
track
there.
mark. It won't let me zoom in, but
Oh, that's okay.
Because when I try and like zoom in my thing, it makes it smaller even. I don't know why. But yeah, you can see marks like right here. Let me see.
That's okay.
There's a really good Dr. Phil episode.
Yes, there is. Hi, without. I'm sorry if I didn't see anyone.
Probably play this.
Yeah, I think you can. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Just Carrie.
ABC
Hi,
7.
Irvin. Hi, Nadine.
Let me see.
Hi, Crazy Mama.
My husband and I have never been more active.
Jingles doesn't care.
We're talking about cases, Crazy Mama. Just some cases that aren't really big in the news right now.
Doesn't care.
Sorry, it's annoying me.
Hi, Nadine. Her last name is Slusser. It's Sleussur, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she lived in Bloomsburg, which isn't far from me at all. And I got really into this case for a while. And I think she was last seen at like a hotel, but she was with a different pimp at the time. I'm pretty sure, not the guy who was arrested. I believe there was another guy.
Like she had one pimp she had one pimp who sold her off to another pimp, and then that pimp left her. So then she went back to her original pimp. But the reason her mom actually caught her was two things. One, she was posting online. You can pause it for 1 sec. One, she was posting online that she had all these pictures of a nice place in New York, and her mom's like, how the heck is she affording that? She's 18 years old and doesn't have a job. And then she told her mom she was just a sugar, she was going on escort.
Yeah, they found her on like escort sites. I can't remember the name she was going under on the escort sites, but she was definitely going under
lovely Wi-Fi.
What the heck was it?
Sorry. The reason her mom found out is because she got a restraining order against her first
There's
pimp
a lot
who
of
picked her
more.
up by the throat and
Oh,
strangled her. And she used her home address, and her mom opened the mail. That's how her mom figured it out. So this is her mom, Sabina.
And wasn't she, her aunt trying to get her to move in with her or something like that?
She was supposed to move in with her aunt, and what I
Mm.
think happened is she tried to commit suicide. And that's when her aunt was like, "No, I can't do it. I work full time. I won't be home. I won't be able
She
to
had
keep
kids
it."
at home, like little kids.
Right.
Yeah, I
So
remember.
this is her mom, Sabina.
Yeah, she was on like
Yes,
those
a sugar baby
websites,
point of lover. Exactly.
like the ones where they sell sex and they're under different like names and they.
You can play it now if you're ready.
like it was very busy and was shop.
So pretty. It's such a shame. Are you rewinding, Kate? Because I can't hear it.
This isn't the Dr. Phil episode,
You
right?
don't want to think your daughter's.
No, but it's okay. I mean, you can still post that. I mean, you can still share it. I'm sure they'd like to see it.
It's ABC 7, so I think it'll be all right.
But I'm not worried. I would love to be able to get some coverage for this girl. She could be out there.
Can you not hear the sound? You want me to fix it?
We couldn't hear the sound a second ago.
Oh, maybe I didn't. Hold on. Let me just double check. You want me to rewind it?
The link to Dr. Phil would be awesome. Yes, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't realize that it wasn't. My bad.
Then I'll get you that link.
Just look up. You could probably just Google. Oh well, it might be harder for you to find it because you're. Why is this being like this? I don't know why it's not playing. All right,
We
there
had
we
gone
go.
to Boston, and I would say she's about 15.
It was playing a second ago. Bear with us, guys.
I just noticed
You can
drinking,
hear.
smoking.
You can
Yeah,
hear it,
we
right?
can Yep. We could hear it. Did you mute? If you mute, I think it mutes it.
She goes,
Oh, it does?
Tattoo.
Yeah.
Weird.
So I'm trying to figure out what the heck was wrong with you. What are you doing? She's like, I'm moving out. This is the last time.
Sorry, guys. How do you?
On my cheek, and she said she loved me, and she left. Against tonight in Columbia County, the mother of a 19-year-old
What
woman
the
is
heck?
hoping.
Why isn't it sharing the screen? I don't know what the heck is going on. Hold on. I'm having all the problems. All right, click on the screen.
They can't hear if you hit mute.
I know what it is. It's because I thought I wasn't paying attention and it was the audio is playing through my mic, but the screen wasn't shared. Click on the where you can share it down at the bottom. You see it?
No, there was a video on her that someone wrote, "Oh, she's in Mexico," and I reported it, and the
Oh, really?
detective got back to me right away. So they are still.
Hit the screen share, Jen, like next to my name at the bottom. You see it? Because I pulled my screen down, so you gotta like reshare it.
We can just move on to the next one.
Can you hear
It's
me?
fine. Yeah, we couldn't hear you a second ago.
Can you screen share? The screen, like hit the button at the bottom.
Yeah.
There we go. I didn't realize I had to take it down, so it was down the whole time. That's why.
This
All right,
happened
it
in
should work.
2017 in front New York City.
Police in New York City are involved in the investigation and believe the young woman may be the victim of human sex trafficking.
You don't want to think your daughter's doing anything like that. This is her ads. These pimps had some sort of hold on her.
Listen, when she met me, I swear to God, I seen us beautiful Caucasian. I'm not dumb. I said, I'm gonna upgrade this girl.
She never said it was a pimp. She said a guy. He choked me and he took my money.
These pimps and these traffickers know what they're doing. They'll go online and they can check your social media. They see the drug abuse, seductive clothing. I mean, you are a main target.
It started off so innocently. I think she was really naive.
Anybody could have took her and snatched her, and there's no telling what could have happened with her. Sex trafficking is in every city, every state, and every zip code.
I had somebody reach out to me that they had Corinna. They wanted $7,500. I did send them money. It just didn't go through. And then the next day they messaged me, remember this day. This is the day you could have had your child and you will never see her again.
Central. I need to talk to somebody, please.
My gut tells me that something bad happened.
This is my child and I want my daughter.
Don't think it's not in your neighborhood, because it is.
We want to find her.
Do you know that my daughter's missing?
I know she didn't run away.
Is she dead or alive? I want to know what happened to her.
This is a nice video. I've never seen this one.
No.
Mm-mm.
We went to North Carolina to interview Corinna's mother, Sabina Tuorto.
She's really pretty too, her mom.
About 2 years ago. I found Corinna's case on a website that tracks missing people throughout the country. I clicked on the link for Corinna, and as soon as I opened it up, I just was intrigued. And I think Corinna's story also really gets into the sex trafficking issue. Sex trafficking, human trafficking is a much bigger issue than people realize. And I thought this is an opportunity for us to get into that issue. It's a hidden world that is everywhere. All right, we have arrived. It's hard for Sabina to think about her daughter, Corinna, being involved in this type of lifestyle.
People can say what they want about me and say, you know, that I was a bad mom. And I'm not saying I was perfect, but I loved her. See how little she was and he's kissing her. I didn't want anything bad to happen to her. I just didn't know exactly what was going on because I would have done different things had I known exactly what was going on.
Sabina says the problems with Corinna really began her senior year in high school. Up to that point, Corinna had been friends with
terrifying.
Who were a year older than her. So when they graduated,
feel like you
she
wouldn't
started
know.
hanging out with a different group of kids.
She's just hanging out with the wrong people.
You can actually see it in Corinna's social media because she was very active on social media. It goes from this young girl involved in cheerleading and sports, really seeming to have good, clean fun.
I haven't been everywhere, but it's on my list. Earth Day at its finest moment in time. We decided to go see the sunrise.
Then things take a turn, and you can see it in her photos, and it seems to be a very quick turn. Suddenly she's involved in drinking, doing drugs, partying.
100% all natural sparkling apple juice.
Sabina is trying to keep up with her daughter, but she's a single mother working overnight shifts as a nurse, and she just cannot keep up with all that Corinna's getting into.
I know she was smoking marijuana. She would have like parties at the house.
It was out of control.
Yeah,
Then around Christmas time, she's like, I'm not going back to that school.
You can see in a lot of her pictures, she has track marks and stuff on her arm. And she was, we lost Jim. And she was definitely getting, like smacked around, it looked like. She had lots of bruises on her. I can see if I can find more pictures.
I'm like, you need to go back to school. It's your senior year. Go to school, get it over with, and you don't got to go back. She didn't want to, so then I got her involved in a charter school. She would work, do her schoolwork from home, and she couldn't do that either.
By spring of 2017, Corinna was really struggling with a lot. She had told some of her friends that she was feeling very depressed.
Doesn't this view just make you forget about all the bad?
And unfortunately, in April of that spring, she tried to kill herself.
I get a call from one of her friends that she's in the emergency. Corinna took a bunch of Tylenol. She took 500 milligrams.
500 milligram? That's crazy.
I know, her stomach must have been a mess.
I'm scared to take 2. 50? Jeez. My goodness.
Milligram acetaminophen. She's in intensive care. They were looking at possibly a liver transplant at this point if they couldn't get her liver enzymes down. And it scared me. Well, they did get to,
got her levels back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. After that, they placed her in the psych hospital for 3 days, 72 hours. When she gets home from the hospital, all these clothes and stuff are delivered to my house. And I'm like, who bought you all these clothes? And she's like, oh, my friend came visited me in the hospital. And I was like, okay. She comes home one day in May and she's like all snickering. And I go, she's got this huge tattoo right here. And I was like, who paid for that? And she said a friend.
Did she ever talk about wanting a sugar daddy or someone to take care of her?
I think that she started to be broke and wanted to have cute clothes and cute whatever. I think she got a Tinder or Seeking Arrangements or something. Seeking Arrangements is something that a lot of college girls and guys both go on to make money. I knew she was on these kind of things, but I was kind of I'm hanging out with this dude and he's gonna buy me this because we like each other. I think she was really naive with stuff like that.
It was hard for me to even have a relationship with her.
And in June, she moves out.
I begged Corinna not to go. I said, please don't go. No, Mom, it's fine. We don't get along. It's good for me. She wanted to be independent.
She moved in with a friend that she had in nearby Hazleton, Pennsylvania. She was 18 years old at the time, so she was an adult. She started working at a local Applebee's. But this situation with the friend she moved in with was short-lived. After about a month or two, the friend ended up kicking out Corinna.
They got into a really bad fight. And she got mad, called up these guys, and left all of her clothes. She left everything except for clothes on her body. The guy, I guess, told her, you can keep the clothes. I'll get her all new clothes and stuff.
Do we know who that was?
No. And nobody's going to tell us.
A few days later, Sabina saw a post on Corinna's Facebook page saying that she was in Brooklyn.
Fun in Brooklyn.
I'm texting her what are you doing? Get home.
What did she say?
She didn't make it like she was living there. I think it was just she was visiting there.
I texted her what are you doing in New York? She said, I'm good, I'm fine.
Throughout the month of August 2017.
Yeah, at this point, I'm pretty sure her mom thought she was living with her friends or something in PA. And then she just moved to New York out of nowhere. And things got really bad when she moved to New York.
Sabina is keeping touch with Corinna.
She started
and over text. But what Sabina did not know is at this point, Corinna was deep into the sex trade in New York. Her ads were appearing on escort websites. She was using a different name, actually the name Carissa. Sabina knew something was wrong when in late August, early September, she got in her mailbox in Pennsylvania an order of protection, and the victim was listed as Corinna.
So I'm reading it what is this? I don't even know what this is. And it has the name of Giovanni Pagaro.
This man, Giovanni Pagaro, is a career criminal. He's been arrested 9 times for sex trafficking, promoting prostitution, assault, harassment, robbery, burglary, and for drugs. And that is not even the entire list. No one knows how Corinna met Pagaro, not even her closest friends. But we know on August 25th, 2017, at the Harlem Vista Hotel around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Pagaro allegedly attacked Corinna. Sabina later learned the details of what Corinna says happened in a police report.
She was in a room, a hotel room, and she was in the shower and she had her wallet and everything there. He robbed her wallet of $300. And then when she got in the shower, she tried to fight with him about it. I want my money. And that's when he choked her out. She called 911
and she went to the hospital. Apparently, she told hospital workers that Pagaro was, quote, her daddy. 3 days later,
that makes me want to vomit.
She said that the guy was her daddy?
She called him daddy.
Ugh.
That's what all the girls do that work in that trade.
Ugh, it's horrible.
With assault and obstruction of
Grosses me out.
breathing. Did you ever get her on the phone to say what happened to you?
Yeah, well, days later, and she said, yeah, and he's like, but don't worry, Mom, he's in jail now. And he did go to jail. But then he got out. $1,000 bail.
The judge issued a temporary order of protection, saying that for 6 months, Figueroa was to have absolutely no contact with Corinna. That means over phone, text, social media messaging, absolutely no contact at all. Your failure to obey this order may subject you to mandatory arrest and criminal prosecution, which may result in your incarceration for up to 7 years for contempt of court. Shortly after that, Corinna met Ishi Woni, a 21-year-old aspiring rapper.
Baby, Izzy, baby, Izzy, baby, Izzy, baby.
I feel like the Woni guy wasn't as bad as the other guy, though. Like, I actually feel like the Woni guy was a little bit,
I think he was a little softer because one of his main girls was his baby mama. And she got jealous of Corinna, and that's why he had to tell her, I can't keep you around.
Yeah.
And that was the night that she disappeared.
I remember hearing that he actually, like, took care of them, and like, he wasn't as,
He still got time, though.
Yeah. He did get time, but I feel like compared to the other guy, he was a little bit better. I mean, nobody's good. I mean, I can't really say anybody who's a pimp is a good guy, but I feel like he was a little bit softer than the other guy. Oh, Lord. All right, hold on.
Again, we do not know how Woni and Corinna met, but we know that Woni began trafficking Corinna.
Police would later arrest Woni and charge him with trafficking Corinna and another woman. That woman appeared in a picture with Corinna that Woni sent to Corinna over Facebook Messenger on September 16th.
That's his girlfriend.
Only a
That's
few
his
days
baby mama.
before she went missing. The other woman in the picture was advertised with Corinna as a two-girl special. On Corinna's social media, though, it just looks like Corinna is making a new life for herself in New York. On September 7th, she tweets about getting her first apartment in New York. It was in the Bronx. She posts,
My first apartment, all to myself in NYC. Never been more happier in my life. Forever dream accomplished.
September 8th of 2017 is the last day that Corinna updates her profile pictures on Facebook and Instagram. She wrote,
Cheers to pumpkin spice and fall fashion in my new home.
2 days later, September 10th, is the last known social media post by Corinna. She posted on Instagram a picture of someone smoking what appears to be marijuana. She wrote,
Siphon midday, mid-road is always good for the soul.
It's a very strange photo. Corinna's entire Instagram feed is really of herself. This is the first time we're seeing a picture of someone and we don't even know who that person is.
It doesn't even look like her.
Well, we don't think it is her. And her mother even said she didn't think it was her. The face is too full, and she got very, very thin from doing the drugs she was doing.
Yeah, but like the hair looks like this, the skin.
She looks Hispanic, that girl.
Yeah, and the hair looks different.
Yes.
I agree.
No one has been able to identify who this person is, and actually whether it's a man or a woman even. Then comes September 20th of 2017. That is the last time that Corinna is seen. Someone reported to police that they saw her leaving the Haven Motel in Rego Park, Queens, and that it was early in the morning.
prosecutors believe Ishi Woni was with Corinna
You all
at the
gotta-
hotel that
Can you pause
morning.
for 1 second?
Around that exact time at 5.
You guys need to look up that motel because the comments that are online about that hotel are horrific. Horrific. The Haven Motel in the Bronx. Oh, Kate, have you ever seen the reviews?
No.
Oh my God, it's disgusting. Disgusting.
I'm gonna show the final picture on here.
Okay.
I don't think that's her. I don't think it looks like her there. I'm just showing this because Nadie has to.
Thank you. Yeah, she's been missing since 2017. Yes, the reviews just carry. Oh my God, they're disgusting.
It doesn't look like her. I
No,
don't think it looks like her at all.
no.
It looks like a female, though.
Yeah.
All right, where was I? Well, what did I do with the video? Oh, it's down there. Oh.
Nolan, she hasn't been seen since 2017.
Hold on, I got confused where I was. Give me a second.
Oh, sorry.
No, I got confused because I have 3 screens and I go back and forth, and I got confused where I had all my stuff on it. All right,
40 in the morning, Corinna called her old high school friend Kaylee Levan and left a voicemail that still even now does not make sense to Kaylee.
Katie, as soon as you wake up, you better tell me everything that happened with me. He cheated on you for 2 months, you know? You need to tell me everything. Text me everything. Tell me if you're okay. All right.
That's a strange thing to leave.
Yeah. Like, she sounds so panicked in that. Her voice sounds so, like, frantic.
Later on that day, Corinna calls Sabina.
She said, Mom, I want to come home and I'm coming home tomorrow. And I said, well, I'm leaving Sunday to Florida. My father passed away September 14th. I was like, Corinna, Papa passed away. And she started crying. And I said, you know, you're going to go to the funeral.
Corinna told her mom that she could not do that because she had no money and that someone stole her driver's license and her social security card.
She said she would try to take a train.
Do we know if she ever...
I don't know if she ever tried or not, because that was the last conversation I had with her. I tried to contact her when I was in Florida, and everything went to voicemail.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
And I couldn't text her. She never responded, and I have not seen her on social media. I get a hold of one of her friends, and I'm like, have you seen Corinna? I've heard from Corinna. And they're like, no. I said, that's strange, because I couldn't get a hold of her. And I knew in my heart something was wrong.
Now remember, under the order of protection, Peguero is to have no contact with Corinna. But that is not what happens.
Going back through Corinna's Facebook Messenger, we see that on the night of September 20th, she is desperately trying to reach Peguero. She writes to Peguero,
I'm sorry, can I come to you?
Please let me come. If not, I could be locked up tonight. I think this P just did some foul. He left me in a short stay that's up soon, with no money and food.
10:34 p.m., Peguero tries calling Corinna over Facebook, and that's where the conversation between them ends. We do not know if the two of them ever met up. Unfortunately, about a year and a half after Corinna disappeared, Sabina put Corinna's number on another phone. Her photos came in, her emails came in, but not her text messages or her call log. That's something police could subpoena, but we don't know if they've done that.
I hope they
When
have.
She returns to Pennsylvania. She files a missing persons report with the local police department there in Bloomsburg, the Montour Township Police Department.
Now, Bloomsburg, they can't really do much. So I need to go to where she went missing. So my friend and me, we drive into New Jersey and we took a train into the city. And we just kept going to different precincts. It was always the runaround, and we're going to the next precinct. And I'm like, my child went missing. And then 2 female cops, and they knew we're not from the city. And my daughter, I don't know if you've heard of her, name's Corinna Sutton. They're like, yeah, the one female officer was like, yeah, I was there at the time. We know Giovanni very well.
What did she tell you about when she responded?
They said, yeah, I know that he had choked her out and all that other stuff. They were just like, yeah, he's very bad. Like he's very well known.
Sabina says they eventually ended up in a precinct where the officers also knew Peguero.
They said, oh yeah, we know Giovanni, you know, we'll go to his house. So they go to his house. We're waiting at the precinct for the police to come back. So I'm all excited. I'm like all nervous. I'm like, oh, they're going to get him. I'm going to find out Corinna. But they come back and like, oh yeah, we talked to him. He hasn't seen her since the protection from abuse order.
And that's it.
And that's it. And they believed him.
An investigative report from October 17th of 2017 from the Montour Township Police Department shows that an officer there contacted
I hope they're looking
the
more into that
Manhattan
guy.
DA because they found out that Corinna had an order of protection against this man, Giovanni Peguero. The report says that the Manhattan DA told the Montour Township Police Department that, quote, given Peguero's background, there is a concern that he may be hiding Slusser against her will and prostituting her out for money. I contacted the Manhattan DA to ask them about this. Did they follow up with this information, being that they knew that Peguero was a dangerous character? The Manhattan DA declined to comment on Peguero because they say that his records related to Corinna are sealed, but they would not tell us why they are sealed.
And what did investigators do with Ishiwoni after Corinna disappeared?
We know that on November 3rd of 2017, 2 NYPD officers interviewed Woni and another woman at a hotel in New Jersey about Corinna's disappearance. We do not know what was discussed because police will not release those investigative records to me. In early November, Sabina takes Corinna's story to the media, and her face is splashed all over newspapers in New York.
And all over TikTok.
Today we are going to be talking about Corinna Slusser.
Ela ficava postando fotos do seu apartamento nas redes sociais.
That's when tips about people who may have seen Corinna start to pour in.
I got many tips. Corinna was seen in Florida. Corinna was seen.
Real quick, so I don't know how I ended up in this space on TikTok. Don't make fun of me, y'all. It was just random For Your Page stuff. Some weird, like, swinger TikTok thing came up. And it was like these girls, like, oh, yeah, we're swingers. And this is my daddy, you know, just being all weird. I swear I wasn't looking at any of this shit. It just happened to be on there. And the girl looked like a skinny version of her, and I contemplated it for days. I kept going back and looking, and I'm like, I swear, I wonder if this is her. I'll have to see if I can find it and share it to you guys because
yeah, definitely,
it's making me crazy. I'll look it up while the video's playing.
Seen here.
Even in Texas, a former detective of the Grand Prairie Police Department just outside Dallas says they got a tip there too about Corinna.
The day I got it was November 9th, 2017. The supervisor brings me a Crime Stopper tip from the NYPD Human Trafficking Task Force informing that a female by Corinna Slusser is being held by a person in Grand Prairie, Texas. So I take this information and contact an investigator in New York. Basically, all he had was what the tip said. Corinna's been moved.
I know that the cops got many tips, but they all never panned.
I found it. Tell me what you think, y'all. Tell me if I'm crazy.
Yeah.
She looks way skinnier. So, like, I don't know. Like, she looks like her and then she does it, and it gets to me. Like, and if you watch a couple of them, you can see it. All right, ready?
Oh, God.
What?
Oh, nothing.
Do you think she looks like her a little bit?
Yeah.
Like, if she lost a lot of weight? Oh, she doesn't have the tattoo. That tattoo would have to be right there, right? Yeah, it's not her then. 'cause
No, it's
doesn't she
not.
have that tattoo between her boobs?
She does resemble her, but it's definitely not her.
She has that tattoo between her boobs. That's what.
Yeah, she has a big tattoo.
Yeah. But I was like, oh my God. Like, she doesn't really look like her in there, but in other ones, she looks just like her when she has, like, her, like, hair and makeup different.
3 months after Corinna went missing, we can see from her Facebook activity feed that she was active. She was liking pages. She was liking certain things.
Her Snapchat's opening like in the middle of the night.
So we don't know if Corinna is still alive, if she's being held in some sort of sex trafficking ring, where she may be in the world at this point, or is she dead?
If that was the case, that means someone was accessing her accounts. The NYPD even tried emailing Corinna in October, telling her that her family had reported her missing and they just want to know if she's okay. Corinna never responded.
In the spring of 2018, the FBI becomes involved in Corinna's case. They go to Sabina's house in Pennsylvania.
They take her earbuds, her glasses, hairbrush, whatever they could find. They just go and then they did a swab my mouth for DNA.
The FBI tells Sabina that Corinna's phone was last pinged in Jamaica, Queens.
That location is not far from where a man told Sabina he may have seen Corinna.
Sabina receives at her home in Pennsylvania an anonymous letter from a man from New York who would only identify himself as Carlos C. He says that he believes he may have seen Corinna September 26th around 8:30 at night near 67th Road in Queens. He said the woman that appeared to be Corinna was chasing after his friend and was shouting that she was going to, quote, sue him.
The man included his friend's name and wrote, quote, "My friend run fast. I texted him to ask him about the situation. He didn't answer me." Then also that spring, someone contacted Sabina and said they were holding Corinna captive and they would only give her up for $7,500.
They told me that they were keeping her in a room and she was being watched and they weren't feeding her. They were mixing her drugs like
It's so
with heroin
foul.
and Benadryl. And I'm telling the police and like, do something, like check these people out. And they're not doing anything. And it's pissing me off. How do you know it's a scam? If she's in a human trafficking ring, they want money and I want her. So I went to like Walmart. The next day, the man messages me, we didn't get the money.
The people told Sabina to bring the cash to them in person and they would meet her at a women's hospital in Greensboro, North Carolina.
She's brave.
Sabina was
My
still living in
goodness.
Pennsylvania at this time.
It's a 10-hour drive and I really was going to drive. And then something told me not to. And then the next day they messaged me, remember this day. This is the day you could have had your child and you will never see her again.
While all this is happening,
Fucking awful.
prosecutors are closing in on Ishiwoni.
Police arrest Woney at a hotel in New Jersey for possession of drugs and for assaulting a woman, the same woman who's in that picture that Woney sent Corinna in September of 2017. While police are looking at Ishiwoni and his relationship with this woman, they end up uncovering that from September 10th and September 20th of 2017, Woney exchanged 806 text messages with Corinna. The feds end up charging Ishiwoni with trafficking of Corinna. November 28th, 2018 is the day that Ishiwoni is in court facing his sentencing for trafficking Corinna. Sabina shows up at the court and she addressed Ishiwoni right there in the courtroom.
And I asked him 3 things. I said, please disclose where my daughter is. I said, is she dead or alive? And tell me what you know. The lawyer said he wants to stand up and answer my questions. So I'm behind him. So now he stands up and he turns around and said, I don't know where your daughter is. I don't know if she's dead or alive, but I'm praying that she is. And he sat back down.
Do you believe him?
I don't know.
Sabina says after Woney's sentencing, she feels like the investigation stalled within the NYPD and the FBI.
They said that she kind of willingly got involved with this. I don't find somebody who just falls off the radar is not considered missing. If I went to the city and you don't hear from me again in a week or 2 or 3 or 4, there's something wrong. So I had a problem with that.
When was the last time you heard from a detective?
I haven't heard from anybody. I had to reach out to them. Years.
We tried putting Corinna's name in the FBI's public online database of missing persons, and her name doesn't come up. I contacted the FBI in New York.
So they don't even have her in a missing persons thing? I guess are they not putting her in missing persons because she's like a,
Well, she,
prostitute or whatever?
Initially they considered her missing on her own accord.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not. But there are plenty of missing posters out there of her.
Oh, wow. Texas, that wasn't Corinna. That was just some random TikToker I thought looked like her. But yeah, she was definitely kissing 3 dudes. Hold on. It's like a swinger TikTok. I don't know how the heck I came across it, but I did. And sadly, I wish I was snuggling with a beardy, but I actually lost one of my lizards in my house, and I've been tearing up my house today like a maniac, and I still haven't found them. So send me all the good vibes, everyone.
Correct, crazy mama.
and the NYPD requesting interviews with them about how they handled Corinna's investigation. I wanted to ask them, did they track down the man whose name is stated in the anonymous letter sent to Sabina? Did they follow up on Corinna's Facebook activity from after she disappeared? Police told Sabina that the Haven Motel, the last place Corinna was seen, had no working surveillance cameras. So did they try checking other nearby buildings for cameras? And did they push Giovanni Pagero about what he knew about Corinna's whereabouts? The FBI said they would not do an interview with me. They said, we don't have a comment. The NYPD declined an interview saying, we are unable to accommodate the request for interview. The investigation remains ongoing. Sabina even tried to get answers out of Pagero directly. She confronted him in a courthouse hallway in Manhattan in January 2020.
Listen, when she met me, I swear to God, I seen her, I said, it's a beautiful Caucasian. I'm not dumb. I said, I'm going to upgrade this girl. I took a screenshot, baby. She wore wild clothes.
I want to know, where do you think it happened?
I honestly think that she's allowed and she's trying to live life in New York City without, I don't know. I think she's just trying to like explore. I believe that she's going to come back to me.
Was she smart enough to be alive?
Sabina asked
That guy's shady as shit.
Vista Hotel.
Honestly, she lied on me. The original case, the domestic violence case, listen to me, man, sir, because I can look at you in your eyes and I told you, look,
She didn't marks on her.
no, she didn't. Right? That's why they said that the case was frivolous.
You choked her.
You didn't touch her, sir.
You took her money.
Pagero, he's in prison right now only because police picked him up yet again on drug charges. In June of 2021, an NYPD officer spotted him selling crack cocaine to someone in Times Square. I did send letters to Ishiwoni and Giovanni Pagero, both in their respective prisons, asking if they would like to do interviews talking about Corinna. They did not write back.
Halo's Investigations is located out of Gulfport, Mississippi, but we have people in all different states.
How many missing people, children, have you found?
In all the years that Halos has been together, it's been quite a few hundred. I was willing to help in New York to do anything that I could to help find Corinna. And with Corinna, my thing was, let's go to the source of the two pimps. Let me see if I can reach out to some of the escort, the other girls. And I was able to reach out to one. She was actually an escort of Ishiwani's. Told me that, Corinna was mad and another girl was mad and Corinna walked out. That Ishi did get her hotel room, for the night to put her up in. And that's when all of a sudden she came up missing after that. Every night I'm on the escort site. If I see anybody that looks like Corinna, I still call it in.
Some people would look at Corinna's story and dismiss it in a way. Maybe they'd say that she got involved in this sort of activity, but no one deserves to go missing like this, and no family deserves to have to live with this sort of pain. And when you talk to people that know a lot about sex trafficking, they will tell you that Corinna's story is a warning to parents and a warning to young women.
A lot of parents are just in denial. They're not watching their children's social media. They're not looking to say, who's this guy on here that you're talking to? Or who is this man on here? These pimps and these traffickers know what they're doing. They'll go online and they can check your social media. The negative stuff is what they look for. If they see you're happy, they're not going to try to come after you. It's going to be the ones that look like they're unhappy and that life is just not going good for them because they offer them a better world. We have videos of the girls literally leaving their home, with a duffel bag on them. And these girls are being found. We had one 3,200 miles away. Parents had to go get her. She's kept in an abandoned house. He had got her online and convinced her that he was like the perfect guy. It has gotten so bad out there with these young girls just being taken.
What is it like day in and day out?
It's sad. Horrible. It's crippled me because before this, I was a different person. I never got rid of her stuff. So I have all of her stuff in boxes. I've lived here almost like 2 years and her stuff still sits there in that room. This is her cheerleader, her pom-pom. I washed everything and I never put it away. I don't know how I could go 30 years not knowing what happened to her. There was many times I didn't want to.
You didn't want to live?
No. When this all first happened, I was gone. And everyone.
I'm heartbroken for this woman. She even has her room the same. Like, if she
It's so
come, you know, I hope she's just out there being trafficked and something terrible didn't happen to her. This is sad.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if, I mean, I thought Woney was like the nicer of the two, but maybe there was, you know, maybe like his baby mom or something retaliated or something like that.
Mm-hmm. That's possible.
It's like, Sabina, you know, Corinna is, if she's out there, she's going to need her mother, because who else is going to speak up for her? Who else is going to be there for her? So I don't want her ever forgotten. I just keep having hope. So that's what I'm living off of, hope.
Pretty good. Oh. You know, the sad thing about it is the reason that she couldn't go back for her grandfather's services is because they take your license, they take your ID, they strip you of anything that you have that's going to identify who you are, because they want to control you at every level. That's why she couldn't book a plane ticket and she couldn't go.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We need to establish a poster for your reptile.
I know. I do. Hold on one second. Let me mute. I hear my son making noises. I think he's trying to get my attention. He's going, wah.
What do you guys think of that case? It's interesting, huh? It's so heartbreaking. I have been following this case since she first disappeared, because I honestly thought that she was going to turn up. I thought her mother's going to go to New York and kick some ass and bring her home. And it just didn't happen. It's so sad. It's true, Parker. You're just another body that's going to bring them another buck. Hi, Pamela. It's just really sad. You know, she has a brother that serves in the army. And it's so sad because she missed out on so much. She missed out on his wedding, his child. I mean, she missed out on her own life, her own wedding. I mean, her life essentially stopped at 18 because she's owned by somebody if she's out there still. You know, it's so sad. I do think it's great though that they did give them such strong, and I think 15 years is a pretty lengthy sentence. So I was pretty happy to see that actually stuck.
Oh yeah, that's a long. Well, who got the 2 to 5 years?
Palermo
Okay.
got 5 years because he was more for the
Promoting?
prosecution charges, promoting, and then the drug charges. Yeah, she's a beautiful girl. And hi, Queen Bee, thanks for coming by. I just feel like, you know, a young 18-year-old blonde, blue-eyed girl. I mean, I know it's another one, but she fell by the wayside because you don't see her in the news like you saw Gabby. You know, God bless Gabby. I mean, I hope she rests in peace too. But I really am hoping that this one is out there somewhere. Maybe she's in a trap house. Maybe she's in Mexico. I mean, she was only in New York for a short time and she was already bought and sold by 2 different pimps. So she really could be anywhere. You know?
Yeah.
And her
you know what case reminds me of this?
What's that?
Carly Geis. I think I'm saying her. Or, am I saying her last name right?
Carly Geis, yeah.
Yeah, because she like kind of looks like her, but with like brown hair. And it just gives me like similar vibes.
Yeah, no,
That's another case that makes me crazy.
Yeah. I feel like I really that one day she escapes. Maybe she finds that one guy who says, you know what, do you want to get out of here? I'll help you. Because there is that chance that there is that one good guy out there that might actually feel sorry for her. I mean, when I think she's probably maybe 80 pounds, 90 pounds. You know, she probably doesn't know whether she's coming or going. But, dear God, humans are not property. You're absolutely right, they're not. It's awful.
Awful, yeah.
No problem, Beetle. I wanted to cover a case that wasn't really too well known, and I mean, some people knew. Kate knew because she's somewhat not local, but nearby.
Yeah. I seen that like Dr. Phil on her. I've actually seen a couple specials on her, but I got really into it because she was local. It was even on my list of things to cover. I just kind of like forgot about it. So I was excited when you were going to, because I'm like, oh my God, I know this case.
I know. What do you think, Kate? Do you think she's out there?
I think it's.
Yes, there are guys.
Scares me that the guy who choked her is the guy she was like messaging.
Hi, Brandy. Thanks for being here.
I guess I'm like 50-50 on it. I don't know.
I know, it's really hard to tell because there's been no trace of her at all. And you would think after all these years, she's considered an adult, that she would have reached out to her mom to just say, hey, I'm alive.
Yeah.
Even if she didn't want to stay in contact with her, just to let her know she's alive. And she had friends that she left behind, best friends that she never followed up with again. Maybe she was afraid they would get roped into the same deal that she's in.
Yeah, probably.
I mean,
it's scary though. Like, I'm glad I don't have a daughter, just because this stuff scares the crap out of me, honestly. Like,
I am so upfront and honest with my daughter. I tell her about all these nightmare stories. That's probably why she never leaves the house. She literally never leaves the house. And it's funny because the high school is having a trip to Peru. And I said to my husband, I said, do you think that Josh is interested in that trip? He's like, like he thinks you'd ever let him go there. You wouldn't let your kids go to Washington. You think that you're gonna let them go to Peru? No, he didn't even ask. I was like, okay, fine. I'm good with that. I worked with someone whose daughter went on it wasn't like a Salvation Army trip, but it was more or less like she worked at a dentist's office, and this dentist would pick one place, and he picked Africa, that he would take his team to, and they would spend a couple of weeks there, and they would fix teeth for free. And while she was there was a kidnapping of a woman that was held hostage. Like pirates grabbed her on the road, and they held her hostage until they got money. And no, I don't let my kids stray very far from me at all. Oh, the Johnny Gosh case, yeah.
I haven't heard. What's his? I probably heard about it, but like
the
I don't
paper boy that he disappeared, and 10 years later he went to his parents' house and just told his mom that he was okay, and then he left, just like that. Was there at the door, said he was okay, and then left. That's all right, Pamela. It's an interesting case, though. I really suggest you go back to the beginning and listen to it. I hate to say it, but it's more likely to off you than let you get away because you know too much. That's true. That's true. So, I don't know. I have pray for her.
Serenity
Denard. No. That's I'm going to screenshot that, though. Serenity Denard. Huh. Okay. Well, that's all I got for tonight, kids. We've been off for an hour and 10.
Oh, wow. It felt so short. All right. I'm going to keep hunting for my damn lizard.
Be back. If Kate back.
Oh, you're breaking up a little bit.
No, it was an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah, no, it's long. It felt short. Yeah, I'm gonna I hope I find my baby.
tomorrow night, Kate is going live. What time are you going?
Thank you, Jen. I can hear you a little bit, but you're breaking up. I don't know if the chat is hearing it broken up, but it is for me for some reason. Okay, yeah, they heard it too. Sally, it's not a Beardy. It's a Asian water monitor. It's a baby Asian water monitor, so it's really little, and they're arboreal and they climb trees and they're very small. You turned into a robot, Jen. R2D2, is that you? That's okay. I think I heard her say, oh, she got off. I think I heard her say that I'll be going live tomorrow, probably about the what's it called case? Why can't, oh my god. Probably around like 9. The Pike County Massacre case. If you guys haven't watched the video I did on it, it's really, really good. There she is. Yeah, you're back.
Surprise! It's me.
Yay.
So yes, so tell everyone what time you're going live tomorrow.
Probably around 9. I'm gonna shoot for 9.
And what case are you covering?
The one I covered last time, the Pike County Massacre, but I'm gonna compile. I'll do a little like summary again, and then I'll compile. I'm gonna try and compile all the trial stuff in one spot so people don't have to go back and watch it. I can I put it all, in a video so we can watch all the trial highlights.
All right. Do you want to continue on? Because I could do one more if you want to do one more.
That's up to you. I don't care.
Are you awake for it?
Yeah. I mean, if you want to do it, we can do another one.
All right. One more.
All right. One more, guys.
One moment. We'll make this one a quick one.
All right. I won't get up a long video. I wasn't saying it was short. We've been here long. I just felt short for some reason. Probably because we watched that video. Oh, okay.
Right.
Change that now.
So this one is going to be a quick one. So in Nashua, New Hampshire, just over 3 years ago, April Bailey, a 36-year-old mother of 3. I'm going to send you the link so that you have it.
Oh.
See if I can find her. Maybe her picture will pop up.
What's her name? I can look it up.
It's April, and her last name is Bailey, Bailey. She is on the missing persons list, like the top 10, I want to say, for New
April
England.
Jean Bailey.
Yes, that's her. If you just want to throw her picture up.
The mother of 3.
Yep.
I think this is her.
Oh, I got to add your thing to it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yep, that's her. Granted, she's in trouble, but listen, we all know the struggle. So, just over 3 years ago, April Bailey, a 36-year-old mother of 3, disappeared from Nashua, New Hampshire. Her daughter, Savannah Bailey, is desperate to find her. I get phone calls from random numbers, and sometimes I'm like, is this it? Am I going to get a phone call from my mom that I've been waiting for? But it's never her. She was last seen on January 15th. She was living with a boyfriend in a basement apartment at 45 Lynn Street. At the time of her disappearance, she was reportedly taking out the trash. She was dressed in only a jacket, pajamas, and slippers. It's not that long of a walk. What could have happened to her in that short span of a walk, her daughter asked. April Bailey's cell phone and her purse were later recovered from inside the Nashua apartment. April struggled with substance abuse, but her family tells me that she's never disappeared like this before.
She went for a walk?
She went to take the trash out.
What?
Yeah, she went to take the trash out and she just disappeared. Yeah. I feel like after 3 years, if there wasn't foul play, we would have found something, but we haven't found anything. Sometimes it's the first thing on my mind. Sometimes it's the last thing on my mind. She's a person. She might have had substance abuse issues, but she does deserve to be found. And that's really all there is on her. She basically was living in the basement of an apartment with her boyfriend. She went to take the trash out and she disappeared. My guess is that either she and I'm just alleging that
Mhm.
maybe she owed the wrong person money, and it's
Or
sad
what if
because
she told? What about her boyfriend? Is he like suspect at all?
no,
Like they don't suspect him of doing anything strange.
no,
Maybe she went
no.
out. She said she was taking the trash out, but she was going out to meet somebody or something like that. And
But she left her stuff behind. She didn't have her wallet, her phone. She had slippers on. Like, I mean, if you're going to take off, you're at least going to take your wallet and your phone.
yeah, that's really weird.
What I would be curious to know if she was a smoker, if she took her bus with her. That's like a tell-all
Yeah.
right there. If someone leaves without their cigarettes, you know something's wrong.
When I smoked, if I was going to take the trash out, I'm bringing my cigarettes out with me to smoke as I'm taking the trash out.
Right, exactly.
You know
Exactly.
what I mean? I don't
Yep.
smoke anymore, but when I did, that was definitely like my go-to. Like, oh, I'm going outside. Let me bring a cigarette. Yeah, that's really strange.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you just disappear walking out trash?
Right. And the sad thing is that particular area, I drove through that area.
Mhm.
And it's not a good area, so it's not as though you can go knocking on doors and say, do you have a ring camera? Do you have a ring camera? This isn't the neighborhood that you would find cameras in. So it's unlikely that anyone would have footage of what happened to her.
She left.
Jen, I need you and Kate's brain on Lyric Woods and Devin Clark. Oh, I gotta screenshot that.
I just was reading about Lyric Woods, but I
was
saw
too.
was that she was murdered. I didn't see anything Devin Clark. Let me look Devin Clark up real quick for me. But is there more information out about what happened with her? I know she went missing. She was like after school or something, didn't she? Sorry, Dave is cursing if y'all. Wait, 2 high school students? Both of
Hi,
them?
Tara. I hope you feel better.
They were found dead together, like near each other? Oh wow. I didn't know this other kid was.
Parker, I'll
'Cause
drop
I
the
only
link.
see
I'll drop the link for you. So if you want to come up and you can tell us about that case if you want to, no pressure.
found dead in a North Carolina trail over the weekend. Men riding ATVs on Sunday found the 2 bodies around 3 p.m. near a power line easement. They believe those were the victims were not confirmed until the medical. I know the mom of Lyric Woods said it was now a homicide investigation. So, yeah. He never hurt anybody. So, for him to get done like this, I have to have answers. I heard. Okay, so a person who lives near where the bodies were found heard something unusual in the area a few days ago. I heard close to 10 shots going off like an automatic gun and paused for a little bit and 5 more shots off. I thought, who's shooting late at night? They were high school students. Weird. Now I'm going to have to go looking in the social medias. That's like my first go-to. Like, let me... Parker! There she is.
Hi, Parker.
Hello. Hey, yeah, I don't know much about this, but apparently they got in a car with a random or some male person, and I cannot figure out why they would get in a car with a random guy. And the
Do you know
only thing
what-
I can think of is drugs or something.
Do you know what time of day it was?
I think it was afternoon.
No, how old was she?
14.
Yeah, I'm wondering if she was trying to skip school.
She was 14.
Yeah.
It was during the day when she hopped in a car, did you say?
Or was it? Yeah, it was either 1:30 p.m. or 1:30 a.m.
It's strange. Yeah, I just seen her mom say it was a homicide, but I got to do some digging into like the social medias and stuff to see if I
Me
find
too.
any
I
info
haven't
on
done
that.
enough. But they have no idea who this male is. And like from what his mom said on one of the social medias, it was pretty brutal murder.
Really?
Like,
Did they
bad,
say how
yeah.
they were killed?
It looks like it might have been at the end a gunshot, but I don't know what the rest of it was.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So it made me think of like that Breezy and Riley case, which was so horrible, from that one guy who threw him down a mine shaft.
Yeah. Oh, who down a mine shaft? I don't know if I've seen that one.
Oh, I'm sure you've heard Breezy. I can't remember what her last name is, but Breezy and Riley, they were two teenagers and they were at a house and a guy came back and was jealous that his girlfriend let him in there. And so he took him to the mine shaft and like brutally murdered them. And then in Nevada and threw him down the mine shaft, like said, like 150, like 1,500 feet or something insane like that. Crazy. Yes,
That's
the Lyric case, Brandy. What time of day was it? Because I can't remember that.
Yeah, I've only seen. So all I seen yesterday was her mom say that it turned into a homicide, and then I'm like, oh, I gotta look into this. Wait, so that was her boyfriend, or is it just some random guy?
I think it's her boyfriend because there's a picture of the two of them together. Like it looks like he's a football player, and like it was like a homecoming type thing. And I mean, like as far as the picture going around of those two, it's weird because you just never know what's going on. Like if you look at the picture of this girl Lyric and her family, you'd think that they're like this perfect blended family.
Yeah.
And
Look at her.
you just never know.
Look how cute she was too. Aw.
She still had braces on, for crying out loud.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
she was not in her bed Saturday morning.
Okay, so
All
then it
her
must have been middle of the
belongings-
night.
All of her belongings were still in her room. Investigators, he believes his stepdaughter left the home Friday night through an unlocked back door. Canines tracked wood scent from a pillowcase in the trails near their home. I wonder if it's like one of those things where they went out late at night and spooked somebody thinking there was like bad guys on the property and they got killed and then they panicked or something. I don't know, but she snuck out in the middle of the night probably to meet her boyfriend.
I thought I thought they said there's surveillance of them getting into a car. Oh,
Is this her?
I hope it
Female?
wasn't a trafficking thing.
Female, male, under 20, found dead with
Yes.
gunshot wounds.
Wow, that's awful.
Yep, this is them. So they were shot. Wow.
Wow. Can you imagine a 14-year-old?
Oh my gosh, no, I have a 14-year-old son. That is
Who-
horrifying.
So don't I. Who could do that?
That is.
That's
And what was
crazy.
awful was they like kept saying the girl was missing and the girl was found dead. And finally his mother was like, look, I know he's 18, but he's still my son. Like, please say
Right.
something about him.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the other case, Parker?
That's the one I'm looking at a lot. And the other one I looked at. Oh, you got to read that.
There was
story.
another.
Breezy and Riley, a boyfriend and a girlfriend. That one is solved and the person is in prison. But the story, you guys, is so awful. So awful. That he was just sentenced in June to life 4 times.
I'm just going to let you guys take over because my Wi-Fi is horrible.
Oh, no, you're good. This is just,
Well, I'll definitely look into it.
yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah, look at that
dive
case and
into
let
this
me know.
tonight. I will.
Oh, you guys remember that Lucien case too?
Yeah.
Okay, that's getting like the family is super sketchy. It's
Really?
like they've searched that lake, y'all.
But don't they have him
like,
on video just walking away?
So it is alleged and a couple of family members. So every family member that's sharing things keeps changing the story. And somebody said on Facebook, well, last week they reached out to Adventures with Purpose, somebody not related to the family. Adventures with Purpose responded and said, we can't handle cases like that. We can only handle cases with cars. Fine.
Yeah.
Well, then yesterday, a family member says, well, we finally got, or that somebody said, contact Adventures with Purpose. And she said, oh, we got in touch with them today. And so I said, wait, how is that possible? Because last week somebody different. And she's like, oh, well, they gave us the information. So I caught her in this lie. And then family came back and said that he was in a park before that. And then now they're saying potentially, first of all, people are saying the police don't even have video, that they're saying that, but they don't have it. But then they're also saying that they believe, a family member said that the boy on the video they have is actually his brother and the father pushing a stroller and not him. So there's been a lot of, and there was like several, like 17 different charges in years past against the mother for like fraudulent charges and things like that. So
yeah, because I thought they said on an article they saw him walking on surveillance video like by himself or something like that.
Yeah, and then once time frames didn't add up, and then family wanted their own Facebook group, and then people started to question the family and ask questions, and people they immediately would delete things. And so finally today somebody called them out on it, and the family said, well, we delete any comments that seem aggressive. It's just really weird.
Yeah, that's true.
So anyways, but all right, well, I'm gonna hop down. There's those cases, y'all.
All right.
All right,
Well, I'll look
thank
into
you.
it.
See you guys. Thanks.
I'll reach out to you, Parker.
Yes, please look into them. Thank you.
All right.
Good night. All right, girlfriend. Have you had your crime fill tonight?
Yes, I have.
All right. Thank you.
I was
everyone,
meaning
for
like
being
time
here. We
flew
appreciate
by,
it.
but
I
all
know.
right, good night.
But make sure you join us on Kate's tomorrow. Kate has a lot of coverage to share with us. So thank you, everyone, for being here. And I hope you all have a fantastic night. And we love you lots.
Good night, everyone. Bye.